Bitcoin up more than 40% since Donald Trump's election win in November. Many in the crypto community enthusiastic for what they hope will be a more friendly environment for crypto under Trump. Joining us right now is Ari Redbord. He is the head of legal and government affairs at TRM Labs. Good morning to you. I think we're all trying to understand what it means to have a more friendly regulatory environment and sort of how that will therefore manifest itself in some of the valuations that we're seeing, Ari.
First of all, good morning, and thank you so much for having me. There were a lot of promises made on the campaign trail, and now we're sort of slowly seeing some of those promises come to life. There's this adage in politics that the people are the policy, and over the last, really since the election, we saw several key appointments really across the cabinet, from Scott Bessent as Treasury Secretary, Paul Atkins as SEC Chair. We have now a crypto czar, or we'll have a crypto czar, David Sachs, an entrepreneur and former PayPal executive. So if the people are the policy, we're seeing people really up and down the cabinet who have been supportive of digital assets, have been supportive of innovation, AI. There's this excitement and I think sort of cadence of almost a space race where the U.S. is now in a position to keep up with the rest of the world or even surpass the rest of the world. And so far, we've seen a number of really key appointments of folks that support innovation in the digital asset space.
But I guess the question is, Ari, if you look at Bitcoin at close to $100,000 now, what happens? Meaning, how's it going to trade in the future? Do you believe it becomes some kind of true electronic currency? What happens that actually brings value to all of this?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, I mentioned the people, and the real question next is sort of what happens from a policy standpoint. We've heard a bunch of different suggestions to include a strategic Bitcoin reserve. But I think what I'm really most excited about is even beyond Bitcoin. Over the last few months, we have seen fintechs like Stripe and Cash App and others across the ecosystem use stable coins at scale for payments, right? We're actually seeing the technology used. I think Bitcoin traditionally has been this investment mechanism or store of value, but what we're really seeing is people start to use the technology for cross-border payments, for remittances, to buy things. And I think that's when we're really going to see this ecosystem grow when we talk about digital assets. So I think on the one hand, you have Bitcoin, which has been I think this really incredible success story, and even in more bolstered by the election. But I think what we're really seeing, and I'm most excited about, is the technology being used in a meaningful way for cross-border payments and beyond.
You have a view on what Bitcoin ultimately is going to be worth? Is there an ultimately?
I don't. I think we're going to see it go significantly higher. I think things like a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the United States, and it's not just the United States. I think, when countries around the world look at the election, look at some of the campaign promises, and now look at what the Trump administration is already doing, I think we're starting to see other countries and even states. I spoke to folks from Texas recently that are looking to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So I think we're going to see it go significantly higher. But I'm definitely, I'm a former prosecutor, not a guy who's going to necessarily make predictions on the ultimate price of Bitcoin.
We should have a larger conversation about this, given your former prosecutorial role and the fact that there's a whole bunch of prosecutors who think that Bitcoin gets involved in a lot of crime. But we can discuss that another time. All right.